Welcome, guys. Welcome to FYI. Welcome to each and every one of you, and let us know if you are receiving us loud and clear, guys. Let's dispatch with that, please, and thank you. Happy Monday. It's the 5th day of September, and we're so happy that you folks are here with us. It's the 5th day of September, and believe it or not, guys, it is Heritage Month. Let us know if you're receiving us loud and clear. Let's dispatch with that. Happy Heritage Month to each and every one of you, and we hope, as advised, that you folks are finding some way to celebrate Heritage Month with our Indigenous brothers and sisters, with us, your Indigenous brothers and sisters. Happy Monday, guys. Share the live, as we say, wherever you're joining us from. I'm privileged to be carrying the program this morning with you folks. You have me for breakfast after your comments, and Fitz Gulliver and all the other beautiful, wonderful folks there. Who went out to Golden Grove over the weekend, guys? Who went out to that rally in Golden Grove? And I trust that the majority of you are going to put your hands up and say, I was there live and in living color. And we're so happy for all of the support. Thank you, folks. On behalf of the entire team down there, Golden Grove, thank you for all of you who came out and supported. Happy Heritage Month. Happy Heritage Month, folks. And Lyndon Jones and Roxanne Aaron, we hope that you guys are finding some way in which you can be part of celebrating Heritage Month with our Indigenous brothers and sisters. Happy Heritage, folks. Happy Heritage to each and every one of you. Happy Heritage, guys. Happy Heritage. How are you folks doing? Our Indigenous brothers and sisters and our Indigenous culture, it's such a beautiful one, such a beautiful, awesome one. And we're so happy that you guys are getting a chance to celebrate with our Indigenous brothers and sisters. Please and thank you. Yep. You have to be able to appreciate, folks, other cultures. You have to be able to appreciate other peoples in this life, other situations, other things, other touches and tastes and so forth. Can't be one way all the time. Please and thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you guys this morning. Folks, as you know, it is Heritage Month, and it's Education Month. Believe it or not, it's Education Month likewise. And today is the 5th day of September. The kids are going back to school, and so Teresa is off this morning to ensure that her little one gets to school on time. Unlike some of us around these parts, she gets out there on time, and she's able to have a smooth transition back into school for the new school term. So Teresa is off to make sure that happens, and we always give time for family, folks. Family time is first and foremost. Family time is first and foremost. So Teresa is off doing that, and we really wish her young daughter, a happy return back to school. It's Education Month. It's the 5th of September at our end, guys. I know school may have started earlier where you guys are. At our end here in Guyana, school starts today, and so the kids are back out, and Teresa is off making sure that her little one does that wonderfully. I see Claudette Bovel Lewis is saying Happy Heritage Month. Yep. I'm happy that Claudette is doing that, because we have to celebrate with our Indigenous brothers and sisters. It's their month, time of reflection on their hard work, their efforts, their culture, and all that they have contributed to this beautiful country of ours. This is the time we used to do that, folks. Don't waste some time. You come on the live, share it, smash that emoji button, and we want you guys to partner with us as well. It's a new month, but we're still trying to overcome some of our obligations from last month, and we know that you guys are going to help us to do that. First and foremost, share the live, smash that emoji button, and we say Happy Heritage Month. Magnell Barrow, I see you there. How are you doing, Magnell? We see you, Magnell. And I see Ayabo. Ayabo, thanks to the thing, girl. Thanks to the thing. Carol Rollins, good to see you as well. Gaston Matthews and all the other folks. Folks, I'm having some coffee tea this morning. What kind of tea y'all having? I'm having some coffee tea. And it's slapping real nice. Carol Rollins, I see you there as well. And Rachel Wolford. How are you folks doing? Beryl Felix, Ayabo, Natasha, Congraves. Good to see you guys as well. Quite a few things to share with you guys this morning. And we trust that you all are great. June Gilbert, and I see Aubrey Lennox. Good to see you. Who went Golden Grove on Saturday, folks? Yeah, I was on another assignment, but I was tuned in. I was tuned in virtually, and I was so happy that I joined. Heard some good things the people need to hear. Aubrey was in fighting form, folks. Aubrey Norton, the leader of the opposition, was in fighting form there on Saturday. We're going to give you some of that. And also we had Kemra Dramjita, we had Cathy Hughes, we had some of the other young folks who did exceptionally well. Kadaki Amsterdam was there too. Great job by him. And all the other guys, the whole team did extremely well at Golden Grove. And we trust that you folks had a chance to be part of that. Marlon Williams, rather. Good morning, Marlon. Marlon Williams, good morning. And Rowena Cummins, good to see you. And Quincy, Shelley, Donna, good to see you. Riri, Mingo, Gary, great to see you, folks. We trust that you guys are well. Marlon Thomas is here, the Bacchanalist. Melanda McKenzie, good to have you too. Melanda, we trust that all is well with you guys. A couple of things to share with you. Then we're going to be out of your face. Good to have you. I see Melinda. I see Sherry DeRidder is here. Rudy Hines is here as well. Good to see you. It's Labor Day, apparently, at Rudy's end. Good to have you, Rudy. It's Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to Rudy and all the other folks down there. This is in the USA, is it? Am I right? Somebody says they're having some bush tea. How is that going down, folks? How is that going down? A good sweet broom is cut right to some problems. Right, Shu? Happy Monday, folks. Sherman Jackson. Good to have you, Sherman Jackman. She says she's watching from work. I want the kind of work that you have. Watching from work. Laverne Joseph, good to see you as well, guys. Share the like. Smash that emoji button for us. June Gilbert, good to see you. Sandrine Baird, I see Marlene DeYoung, I see Peggy Russell. Elias is here with us as well. How was the weekend at your end, folks? Let us know how was the weekend and what's for breakfast. Yep. I see Laverne Joseph says everyone was at a fire at Golden Grove. I see Morris Alvina is here. I see Marilyn Lorimer. Marilyn, how are you doing? Good to see you, Marilyn. Good to see you, just all as well. Shanet Sichuran Mohan. Good to see you, Shanet. And I see Michaela Andrew Coates. Michaela Andrew Coates. Good to see you, Michaela. Bozeman Jafite is here as well. All of you fantastic folks who make the program exactly what it is. We're so happy that you guys are here. We're so happy to spend this time with you. Beatrice Selby says, Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day, folks. Those of you who are celebrating Labor Day, I see it's Laverne Joseph rather says she has some lemongrass and ginger tea. I'm going to lift my cup to that. Lemongrass and ginger, folks. Lemongrass and ginger. Little Practice here. Good to have you. Little and Carol Rollins, Primo Rollins, Claire Capel. Good to have you, Rashly Ford, and all you fantastic folks who join us. We are so happy that you guys are here. What a weekend we've had, guys. What a weekend we have had. And we started out by saying happy heritage for all of those folks who are celebrating with us, folks. Happy heritage. Number of things, folks, on the morning papers this morning. Quite a few things happening. You can't blink. You can't blink in this place we call guys. You can't blink. So many interesting things are happening on every front. You can't blink for a second, or else you're going to miss something interesting. What a full weekend we've had. I took some time yesterday for some R&R with some colleagues, folks. Was with some MPs over the weekend there. I went into a place called 3Vs and the Linden Suicide Highway. Oh my Lord. We got a lot of work to do where infrastructure is concerned. And I don't know, it's real friends and family getting these contracts. Real friends and family saw a road down at the back there, washing away. You know, slightest rainfall, the road thin like this. The road is thin like this, folks. Not biscuit tin, you know, this is paper tin. And just breaking up like that. A little rainfall, the road is breaking up. Yep, real friends and families getting some of these roads projects, folks. And we got to watch that. Got to watch that if we want this country to move forward. Got to bring in the professionals. Pay the price. Bring in the professionals. You have the oversight. And we develop this country for all of us to live. Beatrice, you'll be very disappointed if you all saw that road. Edward Brooms, you would have been very disappointed if you all saw that road over the weekend. It left much to be desired. Folks, I'm fired up for the week. I'm ready to go. I trust that you guys out there that you all are energized. You all spend some time with family this weekend. Saturday, I got in some walking in the national park. Yes, Saturday morning, very early. I wanted to feel that morning air. I wanted to rise with the sun on Saturday morning. So I was down there. Quite a few folks were out already before me exercising. They got to do it early in the morning. I feel better when it's done very early in the morning. You know, the sun rises with you. You get that fresh morning air. You get all the contaminants and the other stuff, the pollutants and so forth. But that fresh, beautiful morning air, that quietude, you know, that salt in the sea breeze there from the Atlantic. The day was off to a powerful start with that little stretch very early morning. I hope you guys spend some time over the weekend, you know, getting in touch with yourself. You are all militant and vigilant and all that, but we get some me time over the weekend. And I have found, folks, as I've gotten a little older than I used to be, that is so much more important. Some time with yourself, you know, some time for yourself. It's very, very important. You know, it's like the adage in the airline industry. You got to put on your own mask first before you help somebody else. Ayabo, June Chase, we got to put on our own mask. Joel Ward, put on our own mask before we help others. And so me time, you time is very important. Folks, and guard it jealously. Guard it jealously, because you probably know as well as I do, is always something vying for your time, to eat up your time, right? To take that little time away from you and for yourself. And Saturday morning early, that was my me time. And even yesterday, as I was with some of my colleagues, away from the politics, just resting, energizing, you know, bonding with some of our colleagues there. Awesome time we had. Awesome time. Suchan Sudhari, Melinda Innes, and all the other folks. Gwyneth Anderson, we see. Trust you guys have had a good weekend too, a great weekend as a matter of fact. Trust that you guys will be fired up and we are ready to go, ready to take on this new week. Ready to take on this new week. Yep, I see Marilyn Thomas is advising that the coalition comes together and clean up Durban Park. Yep. It's on the cards, Marilyn. That's all I see. It is on the cards. Marilyn says the coalition people should come together and clean up Durban Park. It is on the cards. That's all I see. It is on the cards. Yep. For I say not, for I say that. But again, folks, as we're heading to some of the things that are making the rounds internationally and locally, I can't say it enough. Happy Heritage Month. Happy also Education Month. I don't know what the guys have really hit the graphic for the Education Month, but happy Heritage Month to all of you folks from all of the platforms we broadcast from. FYI, that's our morning program right here. For your information, in the ring, of course, and below the belt, you know, we're saying happy Heritage Month to all of you, but especially our indigenous brothers and sisters. Happy Heritage Month, folks. Happy Heritage Month. Good to see you guys here. Really happy to see you folks here. Happy Heritage Month. Yep. Good to see you good people here with us, and I think we are ready to go. Folks, some stuff we think you ought to know happening internationally. What's happening in Canada, guys? What's happening in Canada? My Lord. End times, Father, come for your world. That's all I can say. Come for your world, Father. Come for your world. Come for your world. Yep. They're telling us that in Canada, there was a stabbing spree. Have you guys been following up? Our Canadian brothers and sisters joining us. You know, how are you guys holding up with this? A stabbing spree, they say, left what? 13? My Lord. 10 killed, 15 wounded. 10 killed and 15 wounded. First and foremost, let me say our thoughts and prayers go out to our Canadian brothers and sisters. This thing can never be easy. Never, ever be easy. But these are the times we're living in, guys. These are the times we are living in. It's not easy. Not easy at all. And, you know, from the report that we're picking up, they say that Canadian police are on the hunt for 2 suspects in a stabbing spree that killed 10 and wounded at least 15 others, mostly in a sparsely populated indigenous community. And this is on Sunday morning. Yep. And finally, on this note, folks, they tell us from the notation we have that the stabbings across 13 crime scenes. The stabbings across 13 crime scenes were among the deadliest mass killings in modern Canadian history and certain to reverberate throughout the country, which is accustomed to bouts of mass violence more commonly seen in the United States. Yep, so they're coming to terms with this. They're coming to terms with this, and we just want to say, for our part on this end, our thoughts and prayers, of course, go out to all our Canadian brothers and sisters. That can't be easy. It's a wild, wild west in the world out there, and we try to make sense of it every day. And I'm thankful that I got a higher power that I call upon. When my heart is overwhelmed, Jules Gilbert, and we're faced with evil in this world, I am happy that when I can't make sense of it, I go to that rock. I go to that rock that is higher than I. Robin, right? You need that. You need that. I often marvel. I say to myself, children and wives and so on. You go to the husband, you go to the man. When the man got his problems, who is going to? You gotta get something higher than yourself. That's why a lot of people don't cope well. A lot of people don't cope well with the circumstances. I am so grateful, folks, because sometimes in my own life, I got circumstances that seem overwhelming. Right? But the higher power there, that's why it's so important to start the day right. Right? Don't start the day rowing and cussing people up and so on. And that's why this morning program is tend to be a little slower, a little more calm than our other programs, a little less racy, than our other programs. Because it's important to start the day right, in the right frame of mind, so that you set up your day for some wins, you set up your day for successes. But those folks in Canada there, our thoughts and prayers go out to them. It's a mad world outside, guys. Mad world outside. That's why we say you got to guard your peace of mind jealously. You got to guard your mental health. Because if you study some things that are happening in the world, my God. But our thoughts and prayers to our Canadian brothers and sisters, that can't be easy. That's a stabbing spree. I think that's how the newspapers characterize it, as a stabbing spree. My Lord. My Lord. So those of you who are there in the diaspora in Canada, y'all take care, be vigilant. Be vigilant. You hear the notation. The guys say it's not common to have mass killings like this, a mass incident like this in Canada. Relatively peaceful and quiet. I've never been to Canada. I haven't gone as yet. I'll go and see Borman and give him my visa, Mark Borman. I haven't gone as yet, but I've heard it's a beautiful, clean country. You folks who've been there can tell us it's a beautiful, clean, peaceful country. Yeah, maybe that's why Guyanese run there en masse. Even now, under this administration, under this regime, people are beating out even in greater numbers. Even in greater numbers, we can be in some trouble, folks. We can be in some trouble. And that's happening on folks on the Canadian front as we're picking up on our international news. Yep. Quite a few things happening there, and that's on the Canadian front, folks. As we come a little closer to home, we saw this over the weekend, folks. The mighty Sparrow got baptized over the weekend in New York. Yep. And in a release out of the church that baptized him, they say that the mighty Sparrow will be using his singing now, his talents for God. And now he's part of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And he will be moving forward in this stand. We're so happy for him. We're so happy for him. You see, I'm just talking about the higher power. I'm just talking about the higher power. You see that? You see, even Sparrow recognized he needs a higher power in his life. And I don't know for you guys who that is. Right? And you have to determine that. But Sparrow says he wants to serve God. He wants to serve God through his son, Jesus Christ. And that's a powerful statement. And a good place as any. A good place of any. And recommended. Highly recommended. So Sparrow, mighty singer. If you know Sparrow, man, you live under a rock, man. Sparrow lives right next door, born and raised. Right next door by we. In this other yard. Next door. Right next door. You tell me you don't know Sparrow? And he has kept us entertained for a long time. How long is a generation? For a generation and more. I think he's now 83. Right? And Sparrow says, it's time I give myself fully to this higher power. Some of y'all running in you. Father can catch y'all. I want you to know that. Some of y'all running. And we're so happy, folks. We're so happy for the mighty Sparrow. Yep, that's over the weekend. Yep. It's good to move in the right direction. Can't move in the wrong direction. With some of them boys on the other side. would turn to higher power. They're going to treat people differently, and they're going to want to develop this country much differently. They're going to want to develop this country for all of us, not just some of us. And some things that happened over the weekend, would tell us as a country, we need a higher power. We need a higher power. Because when you look at some events locally over the weekend, it's like we crossed, We need a month of prayer and fasting. So we got Heritage Month, Education Month, we need prayer and fasting month. Because it's like we cross. And I can trace back when all this stuff just started falling apart. August 2nd, 2020. Yeah. August 2nd, 2020. Joel Ward, Gwen Anderson, Amabel Clement. Yes, thanks Ingrid. I didn't want to make Sparrow older than he really is. In my mind, as we saying that, it was somewhere between 83 and 87. Yep, 83 and 87. Ingrid Crawford is telling me, she's advising. I love that the editors are in real time, that Sparrow is 87. Yeah. Thanks Ingrid for that. 87. And Sparrow looking for higher power. But we here, we're running around like we got all the time on the side. All the time on the side. When I see certain events locally, I see certain events happening locally, Father, I can serve you early. Me wait until I say 87. I can take you now. Because I want your guiding force in my life. You got to deal with these jacobats and trench crappers on a daily basis. You need a higher power to keep your rage at bay. But while we're talking with Sparrow in Trinidad, what's happening on the other side? So Sparrow in the yard next door by his neighbor Trinidad. Here's something in the next yard. Y'all know in everybody's story. In the next yard, folks, the Brazilian elections heating up. The Brazilian elections heating up. And we heard they've raided the home of Sergio Moro. And he was a judge. He was involved in a huge anti-corruption case concerning a car wash. It was a huge case in Brazil. I don't want to bore you with the details necessarily. Right? So he was seen as a certain figure, a rising star there. And believe it or not, he's even in one of the electoral campaigns happening right now. He's part of that process of what's happening now. But them boys not having it, Them boys not having it with Sergio. Right? Them boys not having it with Sergio at all. Right? He's part of that process, folks, happening. But them boys not having it with Sergio at all. They're not having it with Sergio, folks. Right? They're not having it. It's all manner of things happening, folks. All manner of things befalling us. All manner of things. The folks not having it. So the electoral authorities, that is what stuck out to me. Right? The electoral authorities did an investigation. Now that sounds a little strange. The electoral authorities did an investigation and swooped down on the judge's home. Take a drink for that. The electoral authorities can investigate in Brazil. But in Guyana, the electoral authority in Brazil can go out, believe it or not, and investigate. But we who are right here, them by saying, we can't go no way. We can't investigate dead people. We can't investigate migrants. We can't investigate who went where, who did what. It's a very, very sad state of affairs. If I must admit. It's a very, very sad state of affairs, if I must admit. Because that's what it's telling us. We can't investigate. Right? And we had a lot of things that happened here, Let me let you know. I want to pretend. Right? We had, in the last election, a lot of things happened here. Right? A lot of people voted without any certificates of employment. You all know I had this on the card. I just plug this one out. Huh? Without any oaths of affidavit. When we bust them box on the East Coast, some of the things we saw made us cringe. We like it. We like it. Some of what we saw, folks, made us cringe. Cringe-worthy. And believe it or not, with all that we saw happening, all of these missing poll books, unverified oaths of identity, missing oaths of identity. And look at how all of that impacted on the last election. Them boys telling me, hey, they can't do nothing. That's what them boys tell me here. They can't investigate. Y'all think she come easy? Or you better share the lives so others get valid, credible information this morning. Them boys, with all of this you see in here, and the amount of votes, the amount of irregularities, the amount of votes that were affected, you know them boys telling us they can't do nothing. G-come, but in Brazil, as we've showed you, the Brazilian authorities investigating can go out of their creature comfort from the AC offices and so on and investigate. But the boys we got here saying, how we get the credible, valid information? How we get the credible and valid information, folks? If we mama guy, how we can get there if we mama guy? We won't. I won't pretend. We won't get there. Why not? But you see, folks, in Brazil, them boys in Brazil different. Them boys investigating Sergio Mario's home. Them boys investigating Sergio Mario's home, because you know what? In Brazil, they're different. In Brazil, I think there's one valid and credible votes only. They only want to win elections. But them boys want valid, credible votes. Let me take a sip of my tea before I come back. Before them boys bring me back. Let's take a sip of tea. In Brazil, folks, them boys different. That's why I know. They're different in Brazil. Very much so. Very much different in Brazil, folks. Let me take this down. Too many screens around me. Yep. The boys in Brazil, different. And so, guys, that's one of the situations that we're following. The Brazilian experience. The Brazilian experience. Closer to home, I tell you all. When you come closer to home, folks, and you see some things that are happening, we need Father. Share the live, smash the emoji button. When we see some things happening closer to home, we need Father. It's what? It's one calamity bull page after the next. It's one purgatory after the next. When you see some things happening locally, I'm telling you this. You need Father, guys. We need the Father. We need the Father. It's purgatory and confusion powder. Right? So over the weekend, a stand barge, they're telling us, smashed into the retraction span. Saif Ali, a stand barge. A stand barge. Smashed into the retraction span of the Demerara Harbour Bridge. And you will think it was the horse races in Region 5 in the jumbo jet stables for 7+ hours. Nothing was moving. And people were trapped, quote unquote, in their vehicle, not being able, guys, to access the Demerara Harbour Bridge. I didn't want to be in that kind of foolishness, guys. And it's quite strange that we always seem surprised and we always got these major setbacks when these incidents occur. Like we don't even learn from the previous one. We're different, you know. It's like we ain't learning nothing. The previous one didn't teach me nothing to cope with this one here. And so the sandbars, they tell us, hit the retraction span of the Harbor Bridge. 7, 8, 9 hours yesterday. Nothing was moving. How in broad daylight sandbarges hit the Harbor Bridge? Was it broad daylight? That's another story. But even if, how the captain and so on is get a license and so. Very interesting. Very interesting. But we made to understand that very late last evening, the bridge was able to become operable to a certain degree, and it was admitting light traffic. It was admitting light traffic last evening. The Demerara Harbor Bridge. Don't know the state of it this morning, but light traffic was being admitted to that Demerara Harbor Bridge. And that was just one of the things we're following Sadie and Ayabo that happened over the weekend. It was just one of the things. So you have the Harbor Bridge mishap, sandbarge smashed into the retraction span of the bridge. It was out of operation for hours upon hours upon hours, much to the fury of those folks, because you had some folks trying to get over from the West Bank, some folks trying to get over from the East Coast. All of it stand still for hours. My Lord. Heaven help us here, folks. But also over the weekend, guys, we saw a massive fire. It let them, y'all know Chinese Star, that huge supermarket. It's right on the main thoroughfare there. Well, it was utterly destroyed yesterday. I can tell you how we need Father, Sadie B, Bridget, Marvel Shorts, Ayabo. I can tell you how we need Father in this place. We need higher power in this place. Because for hours yesterday, this fire raged on as well. Which brings into question the firefighting capabilities of those of our brothers and sisters there in Letem, the GPF, or the GFS rather, the Guyana Fire Service. The Guyana Fire Service, the supermarket was destroyed utterly. I could imagine people watching that and vex. Because in this hard guava season, in this economy, you can't get food just destroying wantonly like that. My Lord. That would be painful for me. See all the sugar burning up. If the supermarket had sugar and the brooms, you know, see all that sugar burning up there, chicken and so on, roasting, you know, beef burning up there. I telling Josh and Ivex, can they see Lorraine morning? I telling GT and Ivex, the whole supermarket went up in flames. This hard guava season in Johnny, I see Ayabo says very sad. Right? Very sad. And I see June Gilbert being very facetious. June being very facetious there. June says African Guyanese will get the contract to build back. Very facetious. I feel attacked, June. Very, very facetious. Twin calamities over the weekend. Huge supermarket went up in flames. Chinese Star supermarket there let them, and then the Harbor Bridge was inoperable for hours yesterday, stranding passengers on both sides of the bridge. Hours, 7+ hours. Yesterday. You know, it's very interesting. Very interesting. We got to develop a capability to respond to these things better. But the first thing, it starts with the alertness of the captains and so on. You know, ferrying those vessels, commandeering those vessels. You know, to be more vigilant and careful so that we avoid the problem altogether. And then our response to it, you know, it's something that has to be looked at as well. So all of that, guys, was just over the weekend, you know. Twin calamities, buzz them boys. So what we gonna do? Twin calamities. But something interesting else we're seeing, folks, this morning. Another interesting feature we're seeing in the papers this morning. You know, they talk about this GDP growth. I don't tell you how it affects the supermarket went up in flames because all of this stuff that would have perished along inside there. I don't think I vexed with that. So don't come around me funny. I don't vex with that already. And with that, you're hearing GDP growth is 56%. And that's what the mid-year report telling us. The GDP grew by 56%. Right? By 56%. Now, when I see things like this, I vex because Cummins, Seymour, Brooms, Elliott, calling you all like in high school by your surnames. Brahma, Lennox, we're feeling 36%. Folks, we live in this economy and we're not feeling 56% growth in GDP. It's interesting because the oil and gas sector accounts for a huge portion of this. Little Pratt, Beatrice Selby, Rita Cummins, Melinda McKenzie. What we earn from oil and gas is a huge portion of this. And so when you take that aside, and as we say, you look at the non-oil sector or non-oil sectors. When you look at the non-oil sector, much to be desired. Everything down. Right? The folks who had a peripheral glance at this, a cursory glance at this, and this is not my forte. They tell us rice down, gold down, sugar, of course sugar down, dollar down, everything done, down, anil down, Kwame down, everything down. But you see what we're doing with oil and gas, the revenues, that's what propping up this big, that's what giving this big. So the projection there, folks, right, is that we're going to have 56% growth in GDP. That is what the guys are projecting. But also they're telling us here that the inflation is expected to rise by 5.8. We know, the guys who've been crunching the numbers, that inflation is way beyond that. And that is why when you go to the supermarket, of course not Chinese Star anymore, when you go to the supermarket, the money in your pocket is doing less in the supermarket. Is this thing they call inflation. Is that thing you call inflation. And as we were telling you guys over the weekend, these guys seem to be making a point that they are doing locally here a lot of things that deliberately impacting on inflation, deliberately hurting your pocket and my pocket, but they seem to concern at all. They don't seem to concern at all at this thing you call inflation. And according to the mid-year report coming out of the Bank of Guyana, inflation is expected to grow by 5.8%. But if you ask any serious person, any serious economist, and they're going to tell you that inflation rate is way beyond that currently. It's way beyond that. And our very own Trader Finance, who's an economist by training and profession, told us very early that by December, inflation is going to be way past 10%. Looking at the numbers, right? Julie told us that if we allow it, inflation is going to go way past 10%. But we're watching it, of course, right? Mid-year report again, the GDP is expected to grow by 56%, and they're telling us the inflation, guys, inflation is expected to be 5.8. And for all of the bright people we have in this country and that working at this problem right now, right? The inflation rate under the AFC coalition government, they don't seem to be able to match that, because in the first quarter they were looking at 4.5 inflation. Now they're looking at 5.8, revising it upward. But when they took over, folks, inflation was 0.9 on the St. Winston Jordan. I just sent some folks in cardiac arrest on the St. Winston Jordan. On the St. Winston Jordan, GDP was 0.9. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means, good people? It means you got the money in your pocket doing more for you. The dollar is stronger. But under these folks, they could be the least concerned. Money in your pocket, what they got to do with we? Them boys making the thing, what it got to do with us? And that is why when we listened quite recently to this interview by your boy, Big Head, your boy, everybody head who more big than me, I don't like them. When we listened to an interview rather, with him quite recently, and the very flippant way in which he dealt with the cost of living one and the inflation, the very flippant way in which he dealt with that, you know, it left much to be desired. Because we cannot be flippant about these issues at all. We can't. The very flippant way in which he dealt with it. Oh, and you might get little inflationary effects. You might get little inflationary effects. That's what the fella said. Listen to him, the man. Make sense of him for us.
You will see that in the public sector investment program. You will see the highways, you will see the bridges, you will see the power plants. Not frills, not fancy things. And then you will see water, housing, the important things to people, and so education. So it's an aggressive program, and it could be a bit inflationary too, but that is why we're taking strong mitigating steps to ensure that we limit it.
Yep. So things that they are doing could be a little bit inflationary, hurting you in your pocket. And what are these mitigating steps? Still waiting to hear. What are these strong mitigating steps? On the St. Vincent, Jordan, inflation was 0.9, folks. 0.9. 0.9. That's where inflation was. 0.9. 0.9. How are they accomplishing this? They can't. How are they gonna match that? You think it's magic? You gotta work seriously. Serious policies, serious interventions to have inflation at 0.9 where it was in 2020. And now they're projecting inflation, guys. Don't forget that. They're projecting inflation at 5.8, and currently, folks, we know it's way beyond that. It's way beyond that. So the Bank of Guyana fiddling with the numbers. The Bank of Guyana fiddling with the numbers. And that's not very professional at all. We know, we live in the economy. We are out there in the marketplace. We know what the prices are. So we know inflation is way, way, way above what they're projecting here. But you know, soon as some people hear about this 56% growth, they run out. Soon as some people hear about this 56% growth in the economy, folks, they run out. They run out. Right? They ain't got too much time with inflation. But soon as they hear about this 56% growth in the economy, they run out. And that's when we're hearing from GAWU. GAWU, the Ghana Agricultural Workers Union. And y'all know their president is a member of parliament on the PPP. He's PPP and a member of parliament. That's a more accurate description. Well, he ran out. Here waiting. He ran it out. They're saying that the only way to turn around guys is increase pay. You ever heard a story like this? The only way to turn around guys is increase pay. I got a lot of things I want to say here. But it's a morning program. Increase pay. He says the only way to turn around Gaisuko. Folks, Gaisuko has so much money. I know how much more. You could give Gaisuko everything from the oil and gas industry. It ain't gonna make a difference. It will not. Throw money, the problem don't fix it. Right? That's what the union's saying, though. That increased pay is the only way to turn around guys to go. You got to pay the workers more. Public service, I want nothing in this country. I want for our sugar workers. We want for our sugar workers, our brothers and sisters in sugar industry, everything they deserve, everything. And so this is not about them. Right? The union leaders in the public service, they were looking for the public servants. Yeah? Private sector, watching where that minimum wage is in the private sector. Private sector people are looking for the workers. It's not me concerned per se, but it's our concern altogether. All are involved, all are consumed. But the public sector want looking for public sector workers. What happened to us? What happened to public sector folks? Yeah. Some things we're doing are a little inflationary. We have a little inflationary effect. Plenty inflationary effect. But public servants, on that note, would like something more to cushion. To cushion some of this little inflationary. It's not much, little. Not plenty. A little bit. A little bit inflationary. You see, that's where we can't get rid of some of these guys, They're not good for this country. They're not good for this country at all. That's why we got to get rid of them. No good, folks. And that's why I hope some of y'all went to Golden Grove over the weekend. Philippa, you went Golden Grove. Lynette, Fraser, Bozeman, Marville, Pamela, Denise. You went Golden Grove. Some of these issues were addressed there. And I heard Kemraj talk with Freddie. Here, Kemraj. Right? Here, Kemraj. Marvin, I see you coming there. Here, Kemraj talk with Yabai Freddie. Right? And he had too many good things to say about Freddie. He had too many good things to say about Freddie at all. Kemraj was on the stage there, like so many other of our folks, at Golden Grove over the weekend. And I trust even if y'all folks weren't there, even if you guys were not there, that you guys tuned in virtually. Hope you guys tuned in virtually. Kemraj had a couple of things to say down there at Golden Grove about your boy Freddie. Right? Twist mouth, turn mouth, hypocrite Freddie. As a matter of fact, that's what Kemraj said. Among the things he said, Freddie's a hypocrite. As we go into the big issue this morning, which is the APNU ALC and the WPA rally there in the Golden Grove. Kemraj said he's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite, according to Priya. He's a hypocrite. How do you guys feel? That's not me. I may put it in more stark terms. Merlin Sampson and Aubrey Lennox, Ayabo, Shirley Crichton, Melanda. He's a hypocrite. How y'all feel about that? Right? Hypocrite. That's what Kemraj said. He's a hypocrite, folks. And Kemraj's own words. Kemraj Ramjatan is leader of the Alliance for Change. Said over the weekend there at Golden Grove. He said, Freddie's a hypocrite. Giving you guys some of that. He's a hypocrite. Hypocrite.
Had before us a president named Jagdeo. And let me say this. In 2012 it was, or 2010, his policies were analyzed by a man mouth who torn now, Freddie Kissoon. Freddie Kissoon called him an ideological racist. You remember that? And Jagdeo sued him. I was his lawyer. I was the lawyer for Freddie Kissoon. And Freddie Kissoon came to me for legal advice. And I said, that's a serious description. He said, I'm going to prove it. And Freddie wrote a thesis and proved it. And in our defense to his defamation claim, we indicated that yes, indeed, he was. And he wrote a piece called Ethnic Power and Ideological Racism, comparing presidencies in Guyana. I went back into some files and I found the document recently. And with all that nonsense he writes, all that nonsense he talks about, he should realize that he cannot untether himself from the text that he wrote years ago. This is what he wrote. What this writer has found is the widespread use of ethnic preferences and ethnic discrimination on the part of the government of Guyana, to the extent that the evidence is beyond contradiction. Ready? In a country where two major ethnic groups dominate the social landscape and where the public realms are more suited to African Guyanese because of sociological and educational evolutions, there is a relentless, almost frenetic process of African disappearance in all dimensions of substantial power. And this decrease is a result of governmental edicts, policies by the ruling elites, and the attitudes of Indian power brokers. It is these kinds of circumstances one encounters invariably as one probes the existence of racism in the Jagdeo presidency. So ubiquitous are the signs, symbols, and realities of ethnic control and racial domination in Guyana that it is still an inexplicable or strange situation that the United Nations and the US government have not intervened as yet. And then he goes on, the perpetuation of racism is extensive and intensive in Guyana, in which an East Indian ruling class has shaped an East Indian hegemony that is almost complete. And then he goes on, because tonight I wanted to bring this to your attention, that Jagdeo he was talking about then, when comparing presidencies, and he was comparing Hoyt, he was comparing Barnum, he was comparing Janet, Sherry, and so on. And that is what he wrote about here. And let me tell you, it is 65 powerful pages in which he listed how they dominated the public service, removing Afro-Guyanese and putting in Indo-Guyanese. He stated all of that here. Said, this writer accepts the fact that ideological racism ends up hurting an entire ethnic community, and the end results is group hegemony. But the academic argument is the determinant. We have proven in this research that African Guyanese are badly discriminated upon. That was Freddie writing. And today, he is but an archduke of unprincipledom. He's a hypocrite.
Yep. He's but an archduke of unprincipledom. He is but a hypocrite. Heard that? Archduke, man, elevate Freddie and then bring it down. Folks, you gotta go to these rallies, you know. When these rallies are named, when they're called, when they're published, you gotta go out. Don't matter if you got to travel a little bit to go to these rallies. You must miss something good. We're just trying to make up for some of y'all, you know, who might have missed it, to bring you a couple snippets. Archduke of unprincipledom. He's a hypocrite, quote unquote. You see, if you say one thing a little while ago, you say something now, you can't even justify what you're saying now. Your mouth done, twist mouth, Archduke of unprincipledom. He's nothing but a hypocrite. Kemraj Ramjitan. You know, in the words of Naomi Drucker, one of our viewers, ardent viewers, she says, I ain't want to pretend I ain't shame for Freddie. I ain't want to pretend I ain't shame for Freddie. Folks, when these rallies, when they are published, the dates and so on, location, you come out to the rallies. Lots of folks were down there at Golden Grove. I tune in virtually. Come out. You definitely can't make it. Come in virtually. You can make it. Go down. Come out. Boots on the ground. He's but, and let me call it right. Archduke of unprincipledom. And then following Kemraj, closing off the evening, was leader of the opposition, leader of the PNCR, the People's National Congress Reform, Mr. Aubrey Norton, who said rightly, as you all know, Ayabo and Maylin Sampson, Donna MacDonald, be corrupt. They corrupt. And then there was the rallying call. The next general election is ours. We got a lot of work to do, but we got to go out there and do the work. The next general election is ours, folks. It's ours. That was the leader of the opposition. And we want to take some of his comment on Saturday evening down there at Golden Grove. Archduke from Principledom. Freddie's a hypocrite. Freddie's a hypocrite. None but a hypocrite. Hypocrite. Apologies. Hypocrite.
Believe as we pursue oil, we must look towards learning about the technology. We must look towards producing a core of Guyanese that can monitor, that can audit and do the things that are necessary to ensure we have a successful oil and gas industry. That will be our focus. But the PPP's focus is for a few of them to get rich. All they focus on is corruption. They are so corrupt that they don't even know what is corruption. It becomes normal. They were thief and believe they just take. It is that kind of culture we have allowed to develop in this society. When a society arrives at the point where its leadership does not know right from wrong, things will go wrong. And things are going wrong in Guyana because they do not know the difference between right and wrong. Let me show you how ridiculous they are. They went to an Indo-Guyanese dominated community called Pigeon Island. And the president goes, I'm going to say sit down his fat self, but somehow we get fine quick. He sits down and he tells them, we are going to regularize you. You are going to get your lease or whatever you have to get, your transport. And then they go to Muka, an African Guyanese community. And they said, if you don't move, we can bulldoze you. Who on earth will believe when that Jagabat talks about one Guyana? You know why they don't want to talk about one people, one nation, one destiny? Because they're hoping we can be one people so that they control. There you go. They want us as a nation. It's a totally different thing, eh? You could be one people without being a nation. But worst of all, they seem not to want us to have one destiny. They want a destiny for them, which is riches, which is high quality of life, and another destiny for us, poverty. We cannot live with that. This society must be structured in such a way that we lift people out of poverty, put many in the middle class, put many in the upper class, and ensure that we continuously get rid of poverty. PPP seems to mean plenty poverty persists. They seem bent on ensuring our people are poor. And now I want to turn to your communities. They will go to places like Buxton and they find ex-convicts. Look at the people they choose. You're either ex-convict, ex-backtrack, ex-drugs. You know why? Because they want to have something over them so that they can make them do what they want. But I want to say to the youth, do not be carried away by 5,000 and 20,000. Let us not forget the approach they took years ago made a man shoot another man for $20. And when you worship money, you lose humanity, you lose sanity. And so, be very careful and understand that their approach of bribery is not love for people. Their approach of bribery is to create division. Their approach of bribery is to quell the tension. They have no interest in the genuine development of our people, and we must first recognize that. If we don't recognize that, we will perish. And I know we don't intend to perish. And so, I want to say to you that we must organize in every village. We must have a unit in every village. I've said to you before, I didn't intend to be a leader that comes to you at election time. We want to be in your village all the time. And we will continue to campaign until they call the elections. And we guarantee when the elections are called, we will beat the People's Progressive Party. We have to be united. We have to be united with one objective in mind: getting rid of our oppressors. You cannot come.
That was Golden Grove, people. That was Golden Grove, guys. That was Golden Grove over the weekend. That's why we say you got to come out to these rallies when they are named. You got to come out to the rallies, guys, when they're announced, when you know the dates and location and all that. You got to come out. You got to come out. And I think it's a much better experience. Having gone to tons of rally over my life. In person, there's a kind of vibe that you miss if you're just viewing it over social media or you're viewing it, you know, someplace else, the replay or something like that. The different vibe on the ground there, and you rubbing shoulders with fellow ringsiders and the FYI family on the ground and other guys there. It's a totally different experience. Right? When they call the next general election, we're going to win it, folks. Where's Barbara C. Norton? And then you had Kemraj, that Archduke of Unprincipled Dam. He's a hypocrite. And I saw one of our viewers, I think the guys pinned the comment for us. Elizabeth Narine out of Sparkle City, South Carolina says, Kemraj for the win, a shame for Freddie. Call him out. He's shameless. They're all birds of a feather, plundering the nation's resources. The Guyanese people can't catch a break. Elizabeth Narine out of South Carolina. Yep, and that's why you got to come out, folks. You know, I glanced over, the guys passed us a note. They said the shares looking 10. Folks, we got hundreds of you watching us. Over 1,000 of you across social media watching us this morning. We're so privileged that you guys tune in for our morning program. For your information, FYI, do us the biggest favor as we start this new week. Share the live so that others get valid, credible information as well. And smash that emoji button for us. Hundreds of you are watching, militant, vigilant folks who are in tune with the pulse of the nation. Lots of you in the diaspora are interested in what's happening home, because I know some of y'all send your money back home to help your family because you know things are hard and you want to see better for your country. You want to see better for your people. Share the live, guys. Smash the emoji button and partner with us as well. As we said, we're still trying to catch up with some of our responsibilities from last month. We want to thank you guys for your love and your support. We know thousands of other programs are on social media around the world you guys can be tuned into. But you come and you spend your time with our program. And some of you have been helping us tremendously to get to where we need to go, to steer near, to keep bringing valid and credible information. And we're so thankful. But so many of you can help us, guys. Share the live, smash that emoji button. You want to help us? You want to partner with us? You want to sponsor our program? You want to support us? You want to donate to our program? 627-6963 is our number. WhatsApp us there, and we'll give you the information to partner with us. You all know we got Zelle and PayPal and Cash App, MMG, we buy MoneyGram and Western Union as well. And we told you guys that Joanna took the morning off, let me remind you, because her daughter goes back to school today. And family is big for us here. Family is everything for us. They help support us to be out here fighting a good fight, folks. And so she took the time this morning to make sure her daughter had a smooth transition back to school. It's the 5th day of December, and it's school again, folks. School is on again, believe it or not. 5th day of September, and school is back. It's Education Month. It's also Heritage Month. Happy Education Month, guys, and happy Heritage Month. That's going to do it for us at this end. That is going to do it for us at this end. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. That's our program. Share the live before you go and smash that emoji button. We're going to see you guys back below the belt at 12, and then we're in the ring at 9. Thanks for joining us, folks. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining. Stay safe.